Right, in this module we're going to look at a couple of the primary things that we need the dog to associate and to understand and enjoy. The first being a reflex to name response, understanding what their name means and how to develop that relationship, and also developing an eye contact. So firstly, on the reflex to name, some dogs, if they've come from rescue, they will change the dog's name automatically because they've got an association with that name that means negativity, bad things happening. We want their name to mean the best thing ever. So they hear their name, they naturally feel good. They hear their name, they look to us for reward. Eventually, if it's coupled enough with the reward, the dog will naturally start salivating if they've got used to hearing their name and getting given a treat reward. It does take 3,000 to 5,000 repetitions before it's fully conditioned, but the more often you can do it, the more likely your dog is to associate that it's a good thing and turn to you for reward. If you put the analogy of when you get in the car, you automatically put your seatbelt on. You don't analyse why you're putting your seatbelt on. We just have done it so often that when you get in the car, you put your seatbelt on. We want the dog to hear his name, turn to you, hear his name, turn to you. The basic way to train that is very simple, but literally with your dog's food, regular food, we can literally have the bowl of food, say the name, Sydney, give her food, Sydney, food, Sydney, food, Sydney, food. We're not asking for anything of the dog, we are literally just asking them to, well, we're just giving them the food when they hear the name. If they're not particularly keen on the food or they're too distracted, we must do this in a low distraction environment because we want the food to be a real bonus for them. And they start to accept that when they hear the name that they're going to turn and get something good's going to happen. Have a practice with that. You can't do that too often. The more you do it, the better it will be at building up that association. In an ideal world, try not to use their name in any negative way. We are human, and I'm sure there will be times when your dog's just knocked your coffee off all over carpet that you are probably going to use their name negatively. Do your best to do it as many times positive as you can, and then if the odd negative one comes out, well, you're not going to have destroyed everything. The second thing I just want to talk about quickly now is eye contact and just general focus on you. Ideally we want eye contact, I'd say, in an ideal world. However, some dogs don't like direct eye contact. I'm sitting here with sunglasses on, so clearly if my dog knew that it had to look at me in the eye and they can't see me because they've got sunglasses on, they're not going to be used to that association that looking at my eyes is a good thing. So we do need to generalise it that if you look at me, give me focus, you get a reward. So with that, what we'll start doing is having treats at the ready. Wait for your dog to look at you. If your dog looks at you, you want to acknowledge it and give them a treat straight away. Sometimes the puppies will be looking around, wondering what's going on. Potentially try not to use their name as a nagging thing, because we want to use that. They're building up the reflex to name response. So potentially just make some little noises with your mouth, anything, so that the dog goes, oh, what's going on? Looks at you. We give a reward. This is a chance to capture that moment that when they look at you, they get reward. The more we do it, the more they look at us, and the more we reward it, the more likely they're going to offer that. And if they're giving you focus and eye contact and attention, then you can ask them for the next step. You can ask them for the sit. You can ask them for the down, and we can, bond with them and develop that association. Eye contact is easier if you've got the food, because we can give a food repetition. If your dog's not particularly wanting to take the treats, we can, by all means, if you look at me, hey, I'll go off and have a play with you. It doesn't have to be edible. So practice that. When they stop fixating on the treat, they look at you, but use ways to get them to focus on your face with slightly cheating by making silly noises. So